Welcome back to the Balance Bureau. Today I have on a very special guest, and I'm so honored to have her here in full uniform, Miss Melanie, Miss Redding, and I would love for her to just kick us off with her own introduction because she is just a superstar and can capture it better than I could. So take it away with your intro.
Oh, an intro for me. So I am your Mrs. Redding. I am part of the Miss America pageant system. My name is Melanie Engelman. I am also the founder of S.H.E Sisterhood. Um, Mother, wife. I'm here. I am so excited. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited and so happy that we connected. So, thank you.
Oh, how we connected is just so, it was like universe aligned, was just so epic.
It was
And
meant to be.
so totally meant to be, and so much more epicness is coming, and I can't wait for everything to get rolling and get moving and come into fruition for you and I both. So I really want to know a little bit more about this pageant and how you got started in it.
Ooh. So, I've never competed in pageants before. Actually, no, I lied. I competed in a pageant. Shout out to Collingdale, Little Miss Collingdale. I think 1996, one and only pageant, and I think I topped like 6. So, other than that, I never competed in pageants. My first actual pageant was Mrs. Pennsylvania 2020. My best friend, my other half, Marissa, she competed and became the second or third Mrs. Pennsylvania. And actually, right now, as we speak, she's competing for Mrs. Colorado. So it's come full circle right now. And as I compete for Mrs. Pennsylvania, she's competing for Mrs. Colorado. And yeah, that's really my story into pageantry. I've always really tried to find my identity outside of being like in my husband's shadow. So he's in law enforcement, worked 12-hour shifts, and I was always that wife that would always show up. Like always, everything was done for him. I never done anything for myself, and that was always my whole life. I've always done everything for everybody else. There was never anything done for me. So I ended up dropping out of college when I was 18 to go and take care of my aunt who had a stroke and numerous tumors. I was the only one that was willing to go and take care of her. So I ended up dropping out and going and taking care of her. And being undiagnosed with ADHD, now it makes sense as to why I never found that motivation to go back to college. And I mean, I just always felt the need to take care of other people and never really myself. So I met my husband, and it was I met him, we moved out here, and we get married and having kids, and I really ended up letting myself go, and I was really struggling. And after my first daughter, I had really bad postpartum depression, and I got diagnosed with it. I thought everything was good, and then comes baby number 2. And fun fact, you can have postpartum depression and still have prenatal depression, and then you can get both of them together, and it is a grand old time. And I really felt that I was still taking care of everybody else, but nobody was worrying about me. And something just snapped in me, and I was like, you know what? I really need to do something for myself. So my friend who was competing in pageants was like, you really need to do this. Like, you will be great at it. You have the personality. Like, you'll find out so much about yourself. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm at the heaviest weight I've ever been. I'm not anything what you would see as compared to a pageant queen. You know, my husband works night shifts. Maybe one day we'll circle back. So one day my husband comes home and he's like, hey, I'm going to be on day shifts. And then all the stars started aligning, and I handed over my credit card to the director and said, "Sign me up." And that's how I ended up becoming Mrs. Reading, Pennsylvania. And you know what, though? It's been the greatest experience. I'm glad I did it. And that's why I started Crowns of Confidence. If the opportunity didn't come, I would have never taken it. Or even if the opportunity was there, I would have never taken it because that's just always been who I am. So I just needed to do it. So I'm glad I did. So now I've turned myself, I'm going to make you do it. And that's why I started the Crowns of Confidence, to help create opportunities for girls in our community. Because there's always the potential. There's just never, I've always seen, I always felt like we've lacked the opportunity. Where nobody's ever believed in us. Or given us that push. Be like, you can just do it. Just do it. You're never gonna do this if you don't do it now. Just do it. Like the Nike slogan, just do it. Do it. So if you're a woman out there and you're listening to this and you're thinking about doing pageantry, just do it. I'm telling you. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just don't do it the way I did it. Because believe it or not, you can have people sponsor you and you don't have to pay the whole fee right away. You don't have to hand over credit cards right away. Me and my brain just, here you go. I wanted to Sash the crown.
Yeah, that was you just doing it, right? And just taking that leap of faith.
Yeah, I just wanted to Sash the crown.
And here you are. In the Sash crown.
In my Sash crown.
I love it. So many of us can connect to that caregiver and forgetting ourselves and forgetting to listen to who we are. And you were like that shining star moment of, I'm going to take this back and I'm going to start listening to myself. And even after the post and prenatal depression and feeling that lack of confidence, like, how did you just go from like shrinking feeling to here I am, sash and crown?
So I've always had a very loud personality, believe it or not. I've always, it's weird, not weird, but like, it's almost like I had to, what do they call it? Like an ambivert personality, where you can be like very introverted, but also be like very extroverted. So like outside, I'm very extroverted. I'm like, I'm here, showed up, let's go everybody. But I've always been raised that family comes first. Always been that way. But, and even like watching my mom grow up, even at the cost of your own happiness. And now that I had two girls, I'm like, I don't want that for them. I don't want them to think that, they have to sacrifice their own happiness to make other people happy. Is breaking that like generational state. Like, and we were talking about this actually at when I was telling you, the summit, the Working Mom Village Summit. It's like breaking that generational idea that we have to sacrifice our own happiness to fulfill other people's happiness, and that's supposed to make us happy. If we're supposed to suffer in order for happiness, and that's like the idea of happiness. And I'm like, that's such a fucked up way to excuse my French, but effed up way to be happy. And now that I have two girls, and I see it, and they are textbook definition of me. I mean, especially my oldest. She is me to a T, down to the personality, and she feeds off my energy. And I remember her sitting there one day just being like, why are you sad? Even though I wasn't showing any signs, she's just like, well, why are you sad? So I'm like, I can't do this. Like I cannot have her thinking and growing up thinking that she has to do all this in order to be like, this is the idea of what happiness is to be. So me being me in true nature, I just said F it. I don't care. Like, my girls come first. This is, I guess, a mama bear moment, and I'm gonna just, here I am. So I brought my extroverted outside personality indoors, and here I am. In all honesty, yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
was
just
hard, and it still is a struggle to this day because, like I said, it's very traditional roles, like very, like, and not so much on like my side, more so like on like my husband's side. Now, not him, but like very like, well, like, why are you doing this? Or like, you should be happy, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, like, where I'm like, no. So, but it's definitely gotten a lot easier. I've learned to channel it out. It gets easier, people, I promise. If you're like me and if you follow me, I promise you it gets easier.
Yep, you make your choice to put yourself first, even if it's just a little bit to start,
Hmm.
and then you just keep headstrong in that decision.
Yes, yes, and you have to stay grounded and stay firm with your boundaries. And that's the biggest thing, staying firm with your boundaries and being like, no. I know we were talking like a little bit before this, or when we first connected, and I was listening to one of your podcast episodes, and when I first started my nonprofit, I was actually in corporate America. And it eventually came to a head in December where it's like, essentially it's us or your nonprofit. And understandably, because they're a functioning business, like they still have to do it, and I also need to be full-time and present with my nonprofit. So then it came to the comments of like, oh well, like, you're like, you don't like, it's not a job, or like comments like that, where I'm like, I'm building a business and I'm doing all this with my daughters. Like, you worry about yourself, and like, worry about, like, don't you focus on you, let me worry about me. We're okay. It's just like, keep on like, oh.
There's always someone out there, especially when you're doing something against the grain, that wants to just keep you and pull you back
Mhm.
into the grain. And it's just like, you are allowed to not do that. You are allowed to live a life and build a life that doesn't look like anyone else's.
Yeah.
And I was just recently having this conversation because I'm up in a crossroads myself right now with like, do I do this or do I take a break? And the answer in that conversation was, oh, well, other people do that. Other people do it this way. And I'm like, I'm not other people. I
Yeah.
don't want to do it like anyone else has done it. I want
Yeah.
to do it my way, and it's going to work that way.
Yeah.
And claiming that can seriously shift so much in your life. Just like, it's going to work, and it's okay for it to be done how I want it to be done.
Yes, it's liberating. It really is. When you get that concept of like, I wanted to do it my way. I don't want to live for other people. I want to focus on me and my happiness, because I still be all these things wrapped up into one and still be happy.
Yep. It's just that choice. You get to
Yeah.
choose that happiness. You get to choose to wake up every day and your direction for those moments that you're
Yeah.
living. And I feel like you're such a great example of that.
So my friend who's competing in Colorado, we were actually talking about that. Like, I was looking at myself a year ago versus today, and I'm totally different. But it's because I stuck to that same mindset, and I didn't let those little things like creep in. Those little creepers creep in. But yeah, I'm so happy, and thank you for saying that. It makes me feel good because I put on these workshops. So I do these workshops, so I'm glad to know that at least there are workshops that I do. And actually, I'm going to be bringing them for women too. So,
Yes.
ladies.
Yes, and it's like the leading mission of your nonprofit that I would love for you to share a little bit more on too. Is
Yes.
how you got started with that and like that moment of, okay, well, this job's saying pick me or choose your nonprofit, and you said, I'm choosing this. Thank you for confirming my choice. And then how did that go from that like push and pull a little bit to where you are now?
So, I've always been the caretaker type, but um I've always been very observant, and like I said about my girls, they they I've noticed that they do so well for their age, and I'm very hands on, and I've always gotten complimented on how like they're very emotionally intelligent for their age, and how very well rounded they are. And if nobody knows about writing, it is very underserved. And I was given this opportunity, my crown, to do something meaningful. And I really wanted to do something for our girls. So, me being me, I was like, you know what? I want like a she club. Like, I want a place where girls can come and we can be girls and we can just get away from like the pressures of social media and everyday life, and where we can learn to be confident, well, bleh, well-rounded individuals and learn to kick ass in life. I mean, especially with like social media. So like it creates this false perception of what we're supposed to grow up and be and how we're supposed to look and how we're supposed to act. I mean, it's easier to get care credit for plastic surgery than it is to go get a student loan. Well, girl, I mean, you kids are starting to become addicted to gambling because they can go on and get the skill games, and they're already learning how to gamble. So it's like we're setting them up for failure because it's so easily accessible for them to have access to this, but they don't know the dangers. And I can tell you firsthand. So I come from a family of who unfortunately have a history of addiction. 2 years prior, I will say that I had an issue where I was spending money left and right. And algorithms, the way they are, they're like, come on, you know you're gonna spend money. And I would go and I would physically block. Like they have, you can go on and you can download like the Bally's Casino, the Harris Casino, and each one by one they would start coming out with a new ad for the next casino, and I would start going on and I would start like blocking them because I'm like, like no, like I can't. So it's like kids unfortunately are growing up where if you can't prevent it, you can at least be proactive and warn them about it. You know, it's I'm not saying like stay away from social media altogether. Just like know the dangers of it. Like know AI deepfakes. Know the dangers of trafficking. Like it happens. We're Berks County. We're ranked number 3 in the state of Pennsylvania for highest in trafficking. It happens. You don't hear about it, but it happens. And now that social media is so easily accessible and it's just becoming more rampant. So now I have the S.H.E Sisterhood, and that's why I wanted to start the S.H.E Sisterhood, so that way I could build workshop programs and have kind of that safe space for girls and women too. I'm currently working on my women program, where we can come and kind of just be that safe space so we can do girl things. Not all like, you know, STEM workshops all the time, but just I want to do events. I want to do, you ready for it? The pink carpet. Think pink disco ball. You know, just fun girl, where girls can be girls without having the pressure of, are they doing this? Are they doing that? Why are you doing it this way? Why aren't you doing it that way? You know, we go through enough. Let us have one thing. Let us have something.
It's like going from not being able to see the opportunity that you could have because of all this external pressure
Mhm.
and society's expectations of you. So it's like you're just looking over here at just your expectations when truly you do have more in life that is available to you, but so often we can't see that. And I feel like your nonprofit is really highlighting that in such a comforting way instead of like, do this opportunity to feel this way. It's you can do all of these things and have anything that you want, and it's possible for you. And it's just such a huge
Yeah.
important thing that we need, especially in our local area, but
Yeah.
even further than that.
Oh yeah, and that's what with like if I get the state crown, I want to eventually expand the S.H.E Sisterhood. That's what I'm hoping for. Like I said, and like people ask me all the time, well, like, what's my end goal? Like, I tell my husband, I want to have a brownstone in Reading, and I wanted it to be all pink. I wanted to be the girls' club. I want to be the chic club. You know? And I'm not saying like just I just want that safe space for girls to be girls, to think for themselves, to be nurtured, and just to be safe and not be told what they're doing is wrong or anything. Just that comfort that we need, especially now, you know?
That comfort and that belief and that shift in perspective of, yes, there is danger out there, but there's also safety, and that linking arms.
Yes, yes. And if we'll help you get there. Trust us, we will help you. And that's why like I partner a lot with like especially like local like law enforcement. So I'm partnering with like state police, safe works. So it makes me feel better to know that a lot of other organizations and believe in the same thing too, that this is really important. Um, like law enforcement, first responders, other nonprofits. It makes me feel good because it makes me feel hopeful, especially for our girls. You know, and I'm not saying I'm excluding boys. So I actually do have gender neutral programs for schools. But my mission is just really aligned with building that self confidence so that way, one, boys won't become predators and girls won't become victims, or vice versa. You know, it all comes together at some point. So it's
yeah, we all interact at some point, regardless of
yeah.
background and gender and identity. We all come together at some point.
Yeah.
And those starting foundations that you're focusing on is critical work and something that isn't found in public schools or in other kinds of programs that are really actually already out there. So often, especially from personal experience, you think that something in a relationship is normal, and maybe it wasn't modeled to you before, or you just didn't know, like the warning signs of, hey, that really isn't safe for you to be in that relationship. So, really starting with the awareness too is just such a key point, and I love it. Everything that you're doing is just so exciting, and I wish that I would have had something like it when I was younger.
All the time. Actually, I wish. So I ended up missing my whole senior year of high school because I was in and out of court because of my ex-boyfriend. So a little tidbit about me: in my junior year of high school, I ended up meeting a guy who happened to be 26 years old, and I was 17. Yeah. Definitely on the grooming and trafficking side right there. And for whatever reason, I mean, he was a walking billboard of red flags. I mean, between the snowman tattoo on his neck. Now I can laugh about it. Now I can. I mean, if I was 22, I would probably been like sobbing. But like now I'm just like, honey. But like he was a walking billboard. And yeah, no, I ended up missing like almost barely made it to my senior prom. My mom was at like my senior graduation, my graduation with like the blowhorn, just like, oh, thank God she made it. Oh, thank God. But back now looking at it, I'm like, he groomed me, okay? Like, first of all, he is a 27-year-old man with a 16, 17-year-old. Can we just talk about that real quick? But people knew that and didn't do anything. That's the worst part. Is that people knew and just turned a blind eye.
Yeah.
Because it was that difficult child.
Yep. Because what else could they do? They just have to sit and wait for us to listen.
Yeah.
And learn the hard way. I also had something very similar to that. I'm pretty sure it was close to the same age gap. But I was actually 18, so I have you beat there. We can laugh now, but in those moments,
we can laugh now. But like when you sit and you think about it, you're like, okay,
what was happening? What were we thinking? What were we doing? No one knows.
The snowman attack. I can't get past the snowman attack too. I couldn't. Now when I think about that one is, oh God.
How do you even make that work? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm like, oh God. Oh. But yes, now looking back at it, I'm like, but back then, I mean, but like he would call and like threaten me and like all this other stuff, and he ended up going to jail. But yeah, I'm like, so now here I am protecting my girls. It's okay.
Yes.
Learn from my mistakes. Like, you don't make the same mistake. If he has a big snowman tattoo on his neck, this is snowman, red flag. Billboard. Not even a fact. We're a billboard at that point.
Just run.
Just run. Just
There will be signs. Melanie will help you see the signs, and
I promise you I will help you see the signs.
and keep you safe, because we did not have that.
No. And like you said, I wish I had this growing up. But even some of the other programs, like we didn't have like Girls on the Run, Camp Cadet. We didn't have any of that. That at least not that I'm aware of.
Oh, I don't remember it either. And it's so awesome how you and I have both lived these experiences that has shaped our work today and where we're going and our mission. Because like you said, and just really bringing it back into that, breaking the generational belief, the generational system, and just really paying attention to what gets handed down to our youth, in both instances, any instance. I just think it's amazing to bring that awareness, but also, like, what is something that they could talk to their children about, or if any children are listening, teens, young adults are listening, what could they do, like, now or today to help them a little bit more?
Really start talking about the dangers of social media. I can't stress that enough. There's so many things with social media that can be dangerous. For one, you have your AI deepfake cloning. But not only that, you got your bullying. Just start having conversations. I know I for sure wish if I could have that safe space where I would feel comfortable, I would have probably opened up to my mom about the situation a little bit more. But also making myself feel worthy from the inside out, it's come a very long way as far as like how we're supposed to look. I mean, now you have like Kylie Jenner. Now OnlyFans is like apparently like one of the like top ranked like apparently professions. Just I don't even know where to begin. If you're if you're a teen listening to this, just know that you're beautiful. Don't pay attention to that. Use your brain. Your brain gets you so much farther in life. What you see is only a tiny little snippet, and most likely it's very, very filtered, and not any of it is even true. So don't believe it. Take it as a grain of salt. If you're a mom and you are seeing perfect lives and it's making you feel like crap, take it with a grain of salt. It's most likely going to be fake. Everything is filtered. Everything on social media is portrayed to be perfect and sunshine and dandelions, and that's what I've come to figure out.
Yep. I have blocked many accounts that want to sit there and act like everything is perfect. So that is another thing. Just if it's getting to you that much, just block it, unfollow it. Because as much as it is dangerous, and social media can be this platform of doom and just horror, it could also be used for good and connecting with amazing people.
Absolutely.
So just making sure that you stay aware of like what it is doing for you and where it's leading you.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody needs a really good story, I spent my past 2 days at the animal vet hospital, and we got my dog home yesterday, and then my other dog proceeded to knock out the screen in my daughter's window, and so there is going to be a video or a picture posted either today or tomorrow of me trying to get my dog into from the roof. Still, yeah, my dog was on the roof of my house as I was trying to redo video recordings. for my pageant because we have to do so many recordings. Because this is like another unpaid job, but so yeah. So I'm trying to normalize that. That's my goal. If that, that's gonna be my goal. If I become Mrs. Pennsylvania, I'm gonna normalize pageantry because yeah, it's not sunshine and dandelions. It was really not. There's a video circulating of me somewhere climbing on the roof with a black lab going, get it! Meanwhile, I had my other dog who was like body bandage, just like, huh? He's fine. They got into a little tiff. But he had to go to the emergency vet because dog bites are hit or miss. And of course, this one was a hit. So.
Oh my goodness. There's always something, but it's all about the way you perceive it.
I say it's because they thought I was probably going to leave to go to Colorado to see my friend compete for Colorado. And they were like, no, we need her to stay. So they had to resort to that. That's my theory.
They knew something was about to happen, so they
knew something. They knew mom was going to go somewhere. So they were like, what can we do to get her to stay?
Everything.
Trip to the emergency vet. That will do it. That will solidify her staying.
They will do everything to keep you there.
Good times though.
But it's all in the way that you perceive it. You could have let that ruin you. You could have let that wreck everything for you, but here you are with a smile on your face.
Absolutely. I mean, it could have been so much worse. And that's what I tell my husband. I'm such a half full. Actually, no, I lied. I'm a full bottle person. I always believe that things happen for reasons, and it's how you handle it. I could have easily have said, you know what? I let me just stick with my job. The nonprofit can come later on in life. But then I would have been mad at myself because then I wouldn't have the nonprofit. And then I would have been resentful. And then it was just been continuing that cycle. So.
It landed on you. It presented itself. And you just did it.
Just did it. Just do it. The Nike slogan. Just do it.
Just do it. It gets us a lot further than just shoes.
Yes, exactly.
For all the listeners here today that are really feeling pulled into your mission and want to connect further, where's a good place for them to start?
My Instagram at Mrs. Redding _PA, and then on there is the link to my nonprofit S.H.E Sisterhood.
Yes, following both on Instagram. A good place on social media.
Yes, and then actually I will be releasing for my mamas a Mama's Bride book. That will be coming soon. And then I have a school account. So a very close for all the moms. That's gonna be the start to like my mom's version of the S.H.E Sisterhood.
Beautiful. And I will gather those links from you and put them in the show notes for anyone tuning in so they can stay further connected with you. Anything else that you want to add before we wrap up today?
Nope. If anybody has any questions, send me a message on Instagram.
Yes, go connect with Mrs. Redding. She is fantastic, understanding, and there to support you along the way. So thank you for your time today and being on the Balance Bureau, and we will stay in connection.